Computer, select the best mask agents for this mission.
Personnel selected. Michael Mercy, 80s nostalgia expert. Collection code name, 80s Toy Museum.
Hey folks, welcome to another Transformers review, and this one is for one of my most requested Transformers. Hey guys, hello gorgeous. Here's one I've been waiting to do ever since I first started this channel, and I want to dedicate this video to a very special friend. Scott Orr has been a big support to me and my family over the years. He's got a good, selfless heart, and he's passed on the opportunity to make many requests as a Patreon Ninja level supporter. Actually, a Grand Ninja Master. And he passes to give others an opportunity. I talked about how selfless and inspiring Optimus Prime was in my G1 review of him. Well, I'm happy to say there are some people on the face of this earth who embody Prime's spirit. Scott's one of those people.
I don't know whether to hug you or spank you.
Let's go with the hug option, Matt. I know Scott's a big M.A.S.K fan, so this one's for you, good brother. With much gratitude and love. Spectrum on! The Mobile Armored Strike Command line was unveiled in 1985.
And there's only one place where it can be coming from.
And that's Kenner. It's fun. Unlike with most toy lines, the leader of this hero team actually got two figures in the initial lineup. Trakker's gonna lead the mission with two different vehicles that had spring-loaded transforming action. Rhino, the big rig, which I've already featured on this channel, and secondly, but probably the most iconic M.A.S.K vehicle, and most associated with Trakker,
Vehicle code name, Thunderhawk.
Now it's my turn.
In typical 80s fashion, the box featured close-ups of the toy's numerous features, as well as custom artwork of Trakker and the Thunderhawk on the front. What a stroke of brilliance, combining two of the things that most boys love to play with. A sports car and a fighter jet. Not to mention gull-wing doors, which would be popularized by a certain time machine in a movie that would be released that same year. The front of the box featured a picture of the actual Trakker figure and M.A.S.K, and the sides showed off some of the detailing on the dashboard. Wait a second. Ordinary sports car? That's an 85 Chevy Camaro IROC Z28, pal.
It certainly is a magnificent work of art.
Although I guess you could call that ordinary compared to what was hidden under the chassis. The fighter jet mode with thrusters. And a disclaimer on the back, like on the Rhino box. M.A.S.K pretends to create high-frequency radio interference. All sorts of other info on the back about the other features. You can see why kids in the 80s could spend hours at toy stores just reading boxes and figure cards. And it's interesting to see the General Mills logo on the toy box. Guess they ruled Saturday mornings in the kitchen and the living room. The bottom of the box shows off some of Thunderhawk's offensive capabilities, and the top is similar to the G1 Transformers boxes, showing off its transformation sequence from ordinary car to extraordinary fighter jet. And nothing made a car feel more legit than a bunch of paperwork to go along with it. It included some instructions and the statement, "We really do care," with a satisfaction guarantee from Kenner. On the back were instructions on how to seat Matt in the Thunderhawk and even how to put on his mask. Sticker placement map and, get this, how to repair it if something goes wrong. That's something you never see. Most companies would withhold these tips and just expect you to buy a new one. Mini-comics were also included with M.A.S.K vehicles, similar to the Masters of the Universe mini-comics, so you could enjoy M.A.S.K adventures anytime during the week while waiting for the next episode on TV. Some were in black and white, and some were in color. And the catalog, featuring all of the first-year M.A.S.K vehicles and their drivers, with a little bio for each one. And a poster on the back. Not exactly on the same level as the box art. Looks more like what you'd see on a vinyl table spread. Okay, that's the box and the paperwork. Time to take a look at the Thunderhawk itself.
Then let's move it.
And here's the extraordinary Camaro. Absolutely gorgeous. It's not an exact model-accurate replica of a Camaro, but Kenner did use some model kits to build off of for many of their M.A.S.K vehicles. Most notably out of scale on the Thunderhawk are the tires, which once again feature the Goodyear emblem on them. And my favorite, shiny chrome. The headlights are chromed to make them look like they're gleaming when the light hits them. as well as the hubcaps and the exhaust underneath the doors. If you're thinking the stickers look brand new, that's because they are. A replacement set is available for the Thunderhawk and a couple other M.A.S.K vehicles at stickerfixer.com, and they are amazing. They're bright and vivid, and here's something you don't hear complimented about many repro stickers. The texture is amazing. The black gridding design is slightly elevated, making these repro decals three-dimensional and adding even more detail to this classic Camaro. Let's talk about the Thunderhawk's driver/pilot. Brilliant billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, inventor with a mask that has light-up eyes. No, it's not Tony Stark.
My name is Trakker. Matt Trakker.
This time he's in a racing suit, and he included the Spectrum mask.
Spectrum's got such supervision.
This is the original short version, which was later elongated to cause less of a choking hazard. Spectrum may have just been a tiny mask, but it was almost a character itself, like the Thunderhawk. It could pretend to cause audio interference. But more often it was similar to Matt's other mask, Ultra Flash, activating it with the command
Spectrum on.
The Spectrum mask could dazzle foes with an intense light show. This light was so powerful, it was palpable too. It could actually allow Trakker to fly thanks to the Spectrum glider power.
I'm putting Thunderhawk on autopilot. Stepping out for some fresh air. Spectrum hang glider on.
Compared to other 80s toy lines, the M.A.S.K figures seem really tiny, even to little kids. They were just a bit shorter than Transformers mini-bots, and a lot more narrow. They looked like little kids next to the real American hero, and were Hobbit-sized next to the Masters of the Universe. Despite this tiny stature, they had more articulation than a vintage Kenner Star Wars figure. Arms moved up and down, legs bent at the hip, and the knee this time, to allow for sitting in various vehicles. And the head moved left and right, although the range could be cut down a bit depending on which mask they were wearing. While Spectrum had many pretend play features, Thunderhawk had one that left nothing to the imagination. With the push of a button on the roof, the gull-wing doors would pop up and thrusters would be revealed in the back. Safety was always a priority to Kenner, so the Thunderhawk included shoulder-strap seatbelts on both sides, not just to keep the figures from falling out, but to also teach kids the important habit of buckling up.
My pleasure. Now buckle up.
You never know where you'll pick up a good habit, and the 80s toys and cartoons were filled with many of them.
Before I drive off, I always buckle my seatbelt. I want to be safe.
When seated and strapped in, Matt can reach forward and hold the steering wheel, even though he didn't have much range in his shoulders and no elbow bend. Smart design, since what good is a driver who can't hold his steering wheel?
He's got a point.
And you can fit another M.A.S.K figure in the passenger seat, and strap them in safely too. Although you'll be missing Rhino's ejection seat feature if you put Bruce Sato in there with all his bizarre quotes.
The clever bird feigns distress to conceal her real nest. Come again, good buddy?
The back spoiler on mine has come a little loose, so the thrusters aren't completely concealed by the rear bumper,
Something's out of whack about this whole thing.
but activating jet mode fully reveals them. The final part of the transformation is manual, on mine at least. Maybe these popped out on their own a long time ago, but I have to pull these laser cannons out of the doors to complete the attack mode. I've always thought if you want a car to look even better, you put some gull-wing doors on it, and that certainly applies to the Thunderhawk. And here's a look at the dashboard and computer console on the inside. Ready to select the M.A.S.K agent best suited for the next mission. The most often lost parts in this set are the infamous underbombs. While many Thunderhawks have survived over the years, a lot of owners turn their car over and exclaim,
I don't have it, Dusty.
a pair of stun bombs, because we don't want anyone to get seriously hurt here, were housed underneath Thunderhawk's chassis and could be released by pressing the thrusters in the back. And to test them out, let's use the standard location for bomb and missile target practice, the Cobra Terror Drome. the M.A.S.K figures were tiny compared to the other toy lines of the 80s, the M.A.S.K vehicles evened up the playing field a bit. Thunderhawk isn't too much smaller than a G.I. Joe Vamp, and it's much bigger than the 84 Autobot cars like Sideswipe.
Well, gentlemen, let's move it.
And that's Kenner's Thunderhawk.
Back in your box. You're going home.
No way! This is one pretty bird to have on display in a showroom, but where her true beauty emerges is when she spreads her wings in the sky.
Looks like company. I'll show you real battle. Or I'll circle around and cut them off. Here goes nothing. Time for you to pick up a hitchhiker mail.
Thanks again, Scott. And to all of the good folks supporting on Patreon. Got a fond Thunderhawk thought you'd like to share? Scroll down and go to town. Share if you like the video with your fellow M.A.S.K agents. And to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Nerdmas Day on!